Okay.
Right, here we go. Arsenal versus Liverpool. What are our thoughts on the fixture? What are our score predictions?
I'll let you go first because obviously
At home, we're going to beat you.
Yeah, are you?
Well, I mean, currently we have about 3 players fit.
Oh God!
Don't go. Oh my God! As if that doesn't matter.
Last
season, right? When you came to the Emirates, we finished the game. Partey at right back.
Mm-hmm.
I think Ben White at centre back, hasn't played there for 2 seasons. Kivior and Marcel Skelly, who was about nine at that age.
Right, but still in the squad, still playing, and went on to obviously now probably start for England if Thomas Tuchel wasn't one of them.
Up against Salah having the best season of all time.
Yeah, we won the league that season. All of these excuses. We have 2 centre backs.
Why you got your arms crossed?
It's more that I just don't like what you said.
2-1. 2-1 to us.
Okay.
I think 2-1 to us.
Scorers?
Salah.
I think if Gabriel's back, we're nodding in a stinky set piece against you lot, and then I'm gonna go Saka repeat trick on Robertson.
This, I've got to say, this could be a flashback because last time the fixture was reversed.
Yeah.
It was about Arsenal set pieces. And it was about how we're going to score a set piece against you. And then Szoboszlai smashes one in top bins.
Yeah. Szoboszlai really was.
Again, we will score a set piece against you. And it could be the case that Liverpool win the game on a set piece.
Don't want to say.
If you watch that game at Anfield, and again, we had loads of players out. But I won't go there. I did watch. We did have loads of players out. But I won't go there. But we did have players out. That was a very tight game at Anfield. And you were in a decent sort of period, which was about 3 games. But then... Yeah.
We're in those first 5.
The first
where no one had really clocked that we weren't as confident as
could
have been.
Yeah.
And you guys just didn't go for blood at all. Whereas you might do that at the end.
Blood. We had Madueke starting. Eze hadn't even joined. I think he had 1 training session.
Eze came on, looked really good. I remember that. He came on the left and sort of he was putting our right back to whoever that wasn't that day. Maybe Conor Bradley, I can't remember.
Who I imagine you're about to put in a combined 11 even though that happened.
And then I actually thought, Madueke, how much was he? It was 50 mil? How much was he?
Madueke was £50 million.
Yes. Yeah. So I'd expect him to be able to start in a Premier League game, wouldn't you, for 50 million? Yeah.
You're raising standards here.
Yeah. One of our backup.
Hang on.
Yeah, I think do you start Madueke? Kasaka can play. Did Gyökeres start?
Depends who's fit. If Havertz is back, which supposedly he might be.
I think Havertz could be a turning point in your season. And you know what, Gabriel?
Have you seen him recently?
No, I think that's Photoshop.
It's not.
Oh.
It's not. He looks unbelievable. Pause. But he does.
It's fine if he does. It's all right to say another man looks unbelievable.
No, he does. I'm not. Credit to him.
Question, do you think the league is done? Do you think you've won
it?
Say what you were saying a few weeks ago.
Yeah. Speak with chest. Is it done?
It's not done, but I think we've won, yeah. We're going to win, but it's not done.
Even after the Wolves, bit of nerves there creeping in now.
The problem with that game, right, was if at 1-1, people like this man over here were going...
I was just watching quietly at home, just enjoying a hot chocolate.
Would be texting me going, you've got to win that game. If you want to be champions, you've got to win that game. Then we go and win that game, and he goes, champions don't play like that. What do you want?
I think that's a lot of projection of what you
That is, and by the way, that's exactly what is Liverpool fans last season.
I actually think it did show. I think it showed a lot of things. I'm not broadly a believer in this kind of champions do X, champions do Y, because champions win the league, and that's what you kind of look backwards and then join those dots. I think obviously having Gabriel Jesus come on and do what he did, and Saka with that was a brilliant assist from him. I think that shows you've got this repeatable format when you have those players in the team. And that I think is what will win you the league. Not, did we just about hold off Wolves?
Being serious for a second, we've had the most injuries in terms of volume out of any club since the beginning of last season. If we can fix that, I with chest would stand here wherever we are in December and say 100% we're going to win the league.
But I also think
that is ultimately the difference. So if we can't get fit, it doesn't matter.
But I also think part of the injury problem that Arsenal maybe have at the moment is, if you are playing games with such intensity, or there is a level of intensity you're training at, or it requires this level of intensity for you to get to that level in the first place, I'm not saying it does, just theory, maybe the injuries come as part and parcel of that, and that's something you need to solve in a season.
Firstly, the league is more intense anyway, so I don't think you can just put it on Arsenal. Repeat sprints have gone through the roof. And secondly, a lot of our game model is us camped in opposition's half trying to break them down. In fact, one of the memes about Arsenal last season is we can't break teams down, and we're just sat on the edge of people's boxes, basically. I don't think it's that. I don't think, or certainly it's not. You can't just. I'm not saying you said that, but you can't just reduce it to they're too intense.
No.
Right, guys, welcome back to That's Offside, brought to you by Gambling.com and sponsored by Bet442. This week's fixture is Arsenal versus Liverpool, so we've got guests of Alex and Laurence. Right, guys, what we're going to do to start with is do a combined 11 of Arsenal and Liverpool, but with a twist. Okay, it's going to be Arsenal's current title-chasing squad versus Liverpool's 2019 Champions League winners.
Is that because we weren't good enough this season so far?
No, you've been brilliant.
Yeah.
You've done your best.
By the time this goes out, that patronising...
that might change.
You only spent 400 million. No,
that might change.
Still behind you in spend. Let's keep going, guys.
Okay, so goalkeeper. Okay, so we're going to pull up the goalkeeper in the squad for the 2019. Just a reminder.
I think we'll remember who the goalkeeper was. Alisson's generational goalkeeper. Alisson's the reason we were in that final. Some of those saves on the way there were iconic. He completely changed the way that we play. And as much as now, maybe there are some people who are sceptical of him. I think more sceptical of his injuries and the way that he actually plays. He is a man who statistically is almost as good as putting another striker in your side. Not because he scores goals, even though he does do that too. It's also down to the fact that he stops so many goals the other way. So the fact that he keeps you in games, the fact that he stops statistically more goals happening than any other goalkeeper that's ever existed in the Premier League. That's more than Schmeichel, more than Czech, more than all these other guys. He's the best. Yes, he's the best goalkeeper that's ever existed in the Premier League. And I know he won't maybe have the longevity because he will leave Liverpool at some time soon. He won't have that kind of Czech length of career. But I think we are looking at a goalkeeper who changed Liverpool fundamentally, and
I wish this was a debate. It's not.
Raya, by the way, is
like, it would be good for the content, wouldn't it? If it would be good if I went, oh, no, actually, right? No, it's not.
Raya's so watchable though, and he's a very different goalkeeper to Alisson. I don't think he's quite got the same physical presence, but he is someone who you're very aware of because he's a bit more cat-like almost. Yeah, and I think that is equally as imposing for a striker because they know he can get to things that other goalkeepers can't. Whereas I think Alisson is, we've all stood near big guys, but you stand near Alisson, he feels broad, wide, and things like XG don't really take that into account. They just sort of go, person was here. They don't go, person at this width was here.
Yeah.
So I think that's the point with Alisson. Whereas I'm actually a massive fan of David Raya anyway. I think everything he brings to the team, and he has, in the same way as Alisson sort of changed us, I think Raya's added that to you. Because, and I don't want to cast Ramsdale like this, but he was a little bit of your Mignolet in that sense. Maybe that's too harsh, but you get my point.
Okay, so Alisson gets that slot then. We're going to move on to the left-back position.
It's a tricky one, isn't it? Because are we talking that Robbo?
Yeah.
Yes.
It's another position you'd be willing to concede.
And that's the argument. The thing is, we're obviously arguing in the middle of the season about Calafiori. Because he's been fit, I think Calafiori's been one of our best players. He's like completely transformed this season. He's got himself fit. He can affect every phase of play. The thing last season was he came in like basically his first game or the City game or something. He just completely misjudges it. Savinho comes in off the touchline, plays in Haaland, and then you get that tag of, you can't defend 1v1. He can. He's brilliant. I just feel like I'm just saying how handsome everyone is. He's unbelievably handsome, which helps.
It's true.
I just think he's a very, very good footballer. The Robertson debate. Okay, here's my thing with Robertson. I don't think he's as good as you will probably put him up at there and in the sort of the echelons of the best ever. I think he's like a very, very good Premier League left back. He's not in the best ever debates.
In terms of technically, is that what you mean?
Yeah, whenever, it may be just an Arsenal thing, whenever we play them, I feel like it's probably because we played mostly on the right hand side, I feel like there's something to get at with Robertson. And other than like watching those whip balls in the sort of the lung busting stuff, I don't really see him do.
That's interesting. Because obviously he is the left back in the league, in the Premier League, I think actually in Premier League history with the most assists. In fact, both of them.
That's what I'm saying. That's amazing.
Have that kind of assist element. And I think it is more than just, especially with Robert, it's more than just the whipped crosses as one. It's also those, like you said, lung-busting runs, but also underlapping, overlapping, the combinations with Mane, who was an all-timer for Liverpool as well. But I also think there's, statistically, you just look at it and which side were people more likely to attack. And obviously that's because on one side you've got Robertson and Van Dijk. So I think having the best centre-back that's ever existed in the Premier League behind him helps a lot. But I also think he's a very solid left-back. And I think a lot of people forget some of the great performances that Robbo has had in his career. And I also think you forget how many other left-backs reference him in the Premier League. A load of left-backs in that era, so 2019, probably through to about 24. spoke about when they entered the league, managers were showing them footage of Robbo and saying, this is what we want from a left-back. He's not overcommitting, which now we have a problem with in Kirkez at times. He's not able to read the game. I think Robbo's reading of the game is really good. I think the issue is very often, it's not even his one-on-one problems. People remember the drop-off because he's been around a lot longer than Calafiori. He's been around a lot longer than other people. But I think at that point, it's very difficult to debate Calafiori versus Robertson because what they offer to the side, it's just... Calafiori's just not had the time to show it. So it feels a bit unfair on him. But I'm sure there are other players in this team that will probably speak about just being better overall. So I think, for me, it's Robbo. But it's more that I think Calafiori in a couple of years' time will probably be speaking in a similar way.
If we're isolating the season, at the end of the season, I can make an argument for Calafiori.
I agree.
But
not right now.
No.
Okay, so Robbo gets the left-back slot. We're going to go to the other side of the pitch now and go for right-back, which again is going to be an interesting debate and probably quite similar to the one we've just had.
Well, I'll let you... Because I love Timber. I think he's a great player. And I think he's so versatile. What he brings is incredible. Similarly,
I think sometimes players need like one superpower, basically, to almost for people to see them. And I think the problem with Timber is like his superpower, if you want to pick one out, his game is so well rounded, is his 1v1 stuff. No one's late at night watching 1v1 comps of Jury and Timber. They're just not.
You are.
I am. Yeah. And you are. But like, Trent obviously just has that one superpower and is a very good player all round.
He has a few superpowers, yeah.
And is a very good player all round. And I think his defensive capabilities have been massively underrated, to be honest. Because people see that skill and it's like, oh, well, you're not the best in the world at that, so you're terrible. It's not true. Timber, for me, is a more all-rounded player. I think he's more versatile in different zones of the pitch. But Trent has the X factor that Timber will never have, but in that quality.
What do you think makes him? Which zones of the pitch do you think he performs?
I think Timber's
more centrally, basically.
I think Timber's got more 360 to his game, and I think he can play more of both feet. I think he's better 1v1, but I don't think that's not really the debate. Ultimately, Trent is a generational talent. That's what he is. I'm sorry to just keep praising Liverpool players, but he is.
He's also very attractive, isn't he?
And he's so fit.
We're building the best looking team in the Premier League right now.
We would win.
Yeah. Personally, I think it's Trent. Has Timber ever taken a corner quickly? Don't think so. So I think there's a lot of different qualities to Trent, and obviously I think he's the obvious choice. Also considering that he's now gone to Real Madrid because of his period from then onwards, even a little bit before.
Okay, so we've started off with not a single Arsenal player in the squad
Bad start.
yet. However, this might change with the two centre-backs.
Big Willie style. Here we go. William Saliba. You're not arguing
Gabriel?
You're not arguing Joel Matip. We'll get to the left centre-back in just a second.
Sure.
Wow, okay.
Has William Saliba ever won the Champions League?
I mean,
it's a good question, isn't it? Because I think Joel Matip has, guys.
No.
We
said he was.
What do you mean no?
We said he was.
Sorry, what do you mean no?
We said he was.
Oh wow, guys! It's modern internet. We're denying facts.
Sometimes you just have to allow your person to make a mistake. So if you want to argue for Joel Matip over Saliba, I'll let you do that.
No, I just have to. I have to advocate in the same way as you had to advocate for your guys. And I would say Joel Matip's ball progression. He's got a great running. And he's amazing at bringing the ball out of the back. I think his
is Joel Matip better than William Saliba?
It's not a question I can answer right now. I think I'm willing to concede this.
William Saliba is, for me, top 3 centre-backs in the world right now. He is...
And Joel Matip isn't.
Elite at almost every single phase of the game. The only thing, and he's adding this to his game now, stepping out and playing through midfield occasion, I feel like he could be a little bit braver. That's the only thing. But actually did against Spurs the other day, he shut me up. So that's literally the only thing. He's one of the most rounded players I've ever seen.
I think Joel Matip is massively underrated as a centre-back. And I think part of it is, A, he came on free for Liverpool. B...
You're on commission?
He had quite... what commission would I be making? Explain to me how that model works.
Why are you arguing for Joel Matip? I didn't put up an argument for Alisson.
It's more that I think people
for Raya, sorry.
I put up the Raya.
Raya, sorry. Yeah, exactly.
It's more that I think people want to actually... It's very easy to
disregard.
Kind of summarise Saliba and Gabriel. They're both fantastic centre-backs. The reason I think Matip would make it, but doesn't make it obviously next to Saliba, is because he offered very unique things that I think if you talk to Liverpool stats guys, they say that's why we got him. And I think ultimately it was injuries that kind of nixed him.
Okay, so Saliba gets that right slot then. Are we with that?
Yeah, and then it's also obviously the guy who plays alongside that other people go, well, you just played alongside him, which is Virgil van Dijk. And I think it's it's difficult to say Van Dijk doesn't get into this side.
Yeah, I think so.
Gabriel's fantastic.
Gabriel is an extraordinary player, but Virgil van Dijk for me is the best Premier League centre back ever.
Wow.
And it's that simple.
Do you disagree? Do you think someone's better?
I wouldn't say there's anyone in my head that I've got. He's definitely better, but I just think to say he is definitely number one, the best all-time Premier League centre back is a statement.
He's the most complete. I think. I was doing a video on him this week, and there's been some kind of headline issues this season. Obviously, the PSV handball and stuff. We were talking about this, like the PSV handball and stuff. But actually, if you look into it, I think your defensive distances, how far you get stretched, he's covering so much ground. What they're asking him to do, and what he's still able to do at 34 years old. Actually, I have more respect for him after
yeah, and after the injury he had as well. I think the injury was probably have ended a lot of other centre backs' careers.
Yeah,
and obviously recovery is very different now. But I think Van Dijk did a lot to be able to recover, come back, and I think reach the standard, if not slightly improve on what he had before. And obviously also be a good-looking guy. So I think that really helps.
That's the most important
thing. Right, we're going to go to our midfield three now. So if we can choose three good-looking guys, that'd be brilliant to keep this trend going.
Bad news coming your way.
Oh, no.
Yeah.
I don't even want to know who the bad news is. But
fairly industrial midfield we were rocking back there.
What we got? Are we going... middle?
What do you want to go? Middle?
Right, left?
Do you want to do?
Let's go for a six first. Let's go for a little holding midfielder first.
So who's your nomination for the six? Because in my head, it's Zubimendi this season. And I think...
Who would be your pick? On the Liverpool side?
Arsenal.
On the Liverpool side?
Oh, it has to be Fabinho, I think, because we've gone with the ones that started that one game together, which is actually the only game.
That's what I mean.
Together. It's Fabinho. I think Fabinho is, again, massively underrated. Window of what he did was probably a little bit shorter. Again, injuries, kind of fitness. He probably entered the league a little bit late. Had that 6-month period where we signed him, and Klopp sort of took his time with him and bedded him in. And I think that meant he didn't like explode onto the scene. He was just kind of introduced halfway through a season, and you don't really think of players in that way. But I think his impact is undeniable at Liverpool. He allowed the other two eights in this case, Hendo and Gini Wijnaldum, to roam and do whatever they needed to, whilst he was also a great ball progressor, while he was also great at reading the game. And I think, he's obviously not the six that the Premier League requires now, so maybe some recency bias might go in there. But the way that he destroyed other teams and was just essentially a rock at the back, it was the basis from which Liverpool built a lot of their attacks. And the six, for me, you need to have a massive shadow in the modern game. And what I mean by that is the amount of space you need to control to be a really good six, and the shadow you cast, especially in the Jurgen Klopp side, is just so key. And that would be my argument for him. But I would really struggle not to put Zubimendi in this side, because I think he's in the same way as we think of, Liverpool bought in Thiago, and he was fantastic as a six-style player. I think Zubimendi is that for me. But Fabinho is legendary for, again, we didn't ever really have that after we let go of Mascherano. So it was someone else who came in and just gave us something that we could just pin our hopes on.
Arsenal this season, what's changed from last season? Same injuries. We signed a striker, it's not quite working. So what's different? Why are we top of the league? Zubimendi. I honestly
agree.
I honestly believe that. I call him the Arsenal Forrest Gump, in the sense that in the film
he boxes of chocolates.
He loves chocolate. He's always like in the back of stuff, or like famous moments, or like he happens to say, does he say like shit happens or something like that?
Yeah.
No, don't want to swear. He says like phrases, he says like phrases that come out in public or whatever, plays ping, but whatever. That, if you watch the film, you know what I mean. Whenever we're doing something good, Zubimendi is like somewhere near. He's played the pass in, he's got the pre-assist, he's done something good. He is everything, and I mean this in a compliment to the other person I'm about to put in this midfield. He's everything our other midfielders aren't.
Assumptive.
In terms of like, he's a 360 player. He understands tempo, he understands space. And when we say understand tempo, I feel like people are like, yeah, what does that quite mean? He knows when to attack and when not to, and when the opposition is stressed. If there's a moment of a game actually to sit back and go, okay, we don't need to play every pass forward for a moment. He can take it off the centre-backs, play it back a little bit, and then he goes, right, that player's moved there, that player's moved there, let's go forward. And that's such an underrated skill.
Do you know what else it is? It's putting it back in. Like, I know it sounds like, but into the mixer. He puts it, as soon as the opposition get rid of the ball, he's either giving it to those centre-backs or he's looking the other way and it's going straight back into the kind of, I think Klopp would have loved him because of the chaos that he would allow the other players to do. And I think that's what I love about him, is you just see him put these passes in where, maybe similar to why we bought Thiago and people like that, you go, oh, you've just read that so perfectly. And he's he's the player that Liverpool wanted. So.
We're agreeing far too much.
All right, fine. Well, let's disagree on these next eights.
Yeah, we've got 2 players left in this midfield slot to fill.
Which side do you want to go? Do you want to go left or do you want to go right?
Do you want to go 1-8, 1-10? What do you want to do?
Can I pick left? And I pick Declan Rice.
Has he ever won the Champions League?
Total football player. Why don't we just pick if that's the metric? Let's just pick the Liverpool 11. Yeah. Why don't we just do that? I'm fine with that. Yeah, I'm actually fine with that. To be clear.
Video over.
Another good-looking player, by the way.
Another good-looking player. You're saying it more than me now.
Yeah.
I'm just starting to notice it's a good-looking team.
Obsessed over it.
Similar to William Saliba, there's like 2 things he can't do, and Zubimendi can do them. His delivery is obviously from set pieces and stuff like that. His stamina, his work rate, his intensity. I just love him.
Declan Rice is a £100 million player.
150.
Yeah, but obviously, how much did he actually cost you guys?
No, not what we bet, as in what.
No, but how much did he actually cost? 100 mil.
105 million.
105 mil. Yeah, which now is probably
peanuts, mate.
Yeah. What do you call me? So he's amazing. He's undeniably a fantastic midfielder.
Don't say but.
Wijnaldum within this window could do everything that Jurgen Klopp required of him, and I think it would be remiss not to just say Gini Wijnaldum got Liverpool to this final with his goals. I've never really seen Declan Rice play quite as advanced as I've seen Gini, because Gini is also maybe a bit more of a 10 that got converted into an 8. I think that would be where, if I was to make an argument for Gini, which I am, he would get in over him, because what he added to an attack and what he could do versatility-wise added so much to the team. So
that's nice.
I'm actually not going to concede this one, because I think Gini Wijnaldum was season-defining that season for Liverpool. So it's going to have to be you who makes the decision. And I know, that might be difficult for you.
You can't.
Gini Wijnaldum came on against Barcelona and scored 2 incredible goals for Liverpool. He also was part of the greatest press we've seen in the Premier League. He enabled Mane to do what he does. He enabled Firmino to do what he did. And he enabled the rest of the midfield to move and kind of capture the ball in the way that they did. I think that is defining of that era. And I think Declan Rice is entering that period. But again, Wijnaldum won the Champions League that season.
This is the terms of the debate aren't fair, because you're talking about what's been done. If Declan Rice goes on to win a Premier League at this season, there's no comparison in terms of the impact. He's the defining player in this Arsenal team. Yeah, Gini Wijnaldum is not the defining player in that Liverpool.
Whilst that is true, the only reason that Gini Wijnaldum is not one of those defining players, not seen as one of those defining players, is because of the amount that he sacrificed for other players out in the field and the midfield system, which didn't play to his strengths, but was used in 3 or 4 different ways. So he was kind of Owen Hargreaves, if you like, where he had to sacrifice for a lot of other people. But his actual reading of the game and the way that he was underestimated, I think it was a big subject at that time. Like, how good is Gini Wijnaldum?
What can Gini Wijnaldum do better than Declan Rice? Right now, Declan Rice, and he goes back to 18-19, they have a metric off. What's he better at?
Obviously, I think his winning the ball back, I'd say he's minimum.
He's not better at winning the ball back than Declan Rice.
But that's not. But
it's not. It's just not true. He has Declan Rice has much better technique, and I'm sure if you looked at the numbers, it would bear it out.
But Gini Wijnaldum is. I mean, obviously, I've not looked at Gini Wijnaldum's numbers off the top of my head, but Gini Wijnaldum was fantastic at winning the ball back, because that's what the system asked of him. And okay, then you want to do that, then let's do box crashing with Gini Wijnaldum. Gini Wijnaldum was a much better, a more advanced box crasher. He could play that role in the Premier League now. He'd be one of those 8-10s, but because he was asked to play a slightly more defensive role, because he had Mane ahead of him. That was what it was.
Tell you what we'll do. Let's go to the more advanced midfielder.
Rock, paper, sit up.
Because that might
can't leave.
Why don't we get both in? Unless you want another 10 in there, you could have both of them in.
I cannot leave here with Declan Rice.
So who would we go for?
Declan Rice. He's not.
If we didn't have Gini or Declan Rice in the squad, and we went for a 10 role.
Yeah. Okay.
Because we could have both.
You don't want to be. But Liverpool didn't play with a 10.
Let's do the other midfielder.
That's what I mean.
Let's do the other midfielder. Are we saying Henderson v Rice? V Odegaard? Basically.
Well, it depends who you put forward. Are you putting Odegaard forward? Or are you putting forward...
It's difficult. We're kind of in a bit of a weird spot with Odegaard.
Because
Eze has played in there, and he's also played on the left. And Odegaard's been in and out with injury. So it's a bit of a difficult spot. I'd say if you're saying who's the better player, I can definitely make an argument for you for Odegaard. But if you're saying this season, we're arguing on this season for Odegaard v Henderson... I can't.
In terms of impact,
it depends on your shape. Because as I said, you could still have both players, Ronaldo and Rice, in there if you wanted, and then just go for.
You could.
Because if you're going to go for example, Salah, you know for a fact that Salah's not going to track back in the headlines. That's what it's been. So you might want a bit of a more defensive midfield.
But so what I find weird about that is Salah's only just he's never been the biggest tracker backer. But he has been. He has also taken his time to track back in the past. So it is kind of like what are we asking of him, depending on which season?
That's what I mean. So if you want wingers that cheat a little bit and don't track back as much as what your standard winger would be, you might want a bit more of a defensive midfield there. Or if you want to go for a 10 and just 1-8, you might need to think about who works back for your wingers.
What I would say is, I think to put 3 Arsenal players into the midfield would be slightly disingenuous.
I think that's a fair argument, but Declan Rice has to be in that midfield. Wherever he is.
I agree.
I agree. Rice has to be in there. I also agree with your.
We're all disagreeing then.
He's the
format of the
he's
video.
the best midfielder in the Premier League by almost every single metric.
I completely
agree. Right, so put him in.
Rice is in there. Now we just need to determine if Wijnaldum is going in there or if we're going to find a 10 from somewhere.
I didn't prepare much to have an argument about Declan. I feel like I'm unprepared to have because I don't need.
You didn't think you'd be.
I didn't think I'd turn up having to.
Don't you just make videos week in, week out about Arsenal? Sort of what you should have been prepared.
But do you compare Wijnaldum on a weekly basis?
Do I compare him to? Oh, my goodness me. The other one we can talk about. So the thing with Odegaard, right? I think basically he's got into a position now where we're sort of caught between two things. With Zubimendi in there, Odegaard has become he has been this more like all phase person getting the ball off the centre backs, etc. But
less of that fulcrum now.
Yeah, he's less of the fulcrum, but also as a proper true 10. He's not that great at receiving the ball sort of in the block. He's not got crazy numbers in terms of goals and assists and stuff. So he's kind of caught between two. He has when Partey was there, he properly anchored and Odegaard was sort of the shuttler, right? He hasn't really got that role. I think we're going to see Odegaard's influence slightly, not just change. I don't think he's going to come out of the team, whatever, but I just think he's going to play less games, basically. If we're arguing, and I'll concede this, if we're arguing on Odegaard in 25-26 versus Jordan Henderson in the 18-19 season, I think you have to pick Henderson, in my opinion.
And I mean, I obviously agree. I think.
But then are you picking Henderson
over?
Are you picking Henderson? So and if you don't,
would you
and if you don't pick Wijnaldum, by the way, you're saying if you pick Henderson over Wijnaldum, you're saying Henderson's better than Rice. That's what you're saying. Just to be clear.
Well, I mean, who's won a Champions League?
He lifted it.
Yeah, I mean, it's hard to on a footballing basis. It's hard to make an argument for Jordan Henderson, but I think most people probably aren't in the same position as I am, where I've literally made a documentary on Jordan Henderson.
There is something to be said for the soft factors. Let's put it that way. There's something.
There's a lot to be said for that, and I think even now the fact that you see players still meeting with him, and he's gone on to he was captain of Ajax when they had that great run and then horrific ending.
He's looked quite good at Brentford, to be honest.
He's been very good. I mean, the fact he's even playing still in a progressive Premier League team's big. Back then, I think. Again, if we're talking about Champions League, he was very key on that night against Barcelona. He was very key to the overall structure of the team. You'd again argue about what he offered to Salah in order for Salah to do those things. It was about Trent, Hendo, and Salah.
That triangle.
It was, but I think people they underestimate the triangle on the other side as well. But they talk a lot about that.
Who are we picking then?
I think for me, it just seems wrong to put Wijnaldum on that side, but
he's talked himself into it because he's.
No, I mean, I think you can either put Wijnaldum or Hendo, but I put Hendo there because I think you could probably get him to do a number of different things. But I think let's put Wijnaldum in there. I think it seems fair.
Okay, there you go then. Right, we need to do these front three a little bit quicker. So we've got a left side, right side, and obviously a number 9. Who are we going to go for on the left to start with?
So for me, it's an iconic player in the Premier League. It's Sadio Mane. He is
generationally
played across Liverpool's front line in the whole time that he was there, scored a prolific amount of goals. As much as I love Leandro Trossard, and I think Martinelli is a very talented player, again, none of them have done what Mane has done.
Do you know what's funny? I agree with that. But again, similarly, if we get to the end of the season with Trossard's our top goal scorer and assister. Yeah, but he's having one of those weird seasons where you go like, what?
I know it's probably a weird thing to say now, and I mean this in the nicest way. He plays and embodies what Diogo Jota felt like to Liverpool. in that he was willing to make a lot of sacrifices for the overall team.
I'll buy that.
And when he did come on, you knew exactly what you were going to get.
Yeah.
It was probably goals, it was probably influence, and it was a shape change.
Yeah.
And that's why we miss Jota still to this day, rest in peace. So I think that's what's really important.
It's like a player who knows their weaknesses really well.
Well, not only their weaknesses, but I just think is extremely good at their strengths.
Yeah.
And I think that's what Trossard is. But Mane is, I mean, Liverpool could have played him as a striker. He's the left winger.
Do you know what's so annoying as well?
Me.
We knew that. Prime Mane would absolutely slap in this Arsenal team. Absolutely. We need that run.
He's kind of timeless in this modern era because of what
so annoying.
People talk about like Doku and all these kind of people. Mane was sort of that level of intensity, but because he doesn't do the technical thing and he
was so direct without the ball.
He did like a weird little without the ball. With the ball, he wasn't the kind of guy who would do like 4 step-overs and then go past a guy.
Yeah.
He would just move a foot and then dip a shoulder, go the other way. I remember that against Neymar. That was the season before we won the Champions League, where he sat Neymar down.
You know those balls in from Saka to Mane?
Yeah.
That's cash money, 8 goals a season.
That's as English people say, that is cash money.
Right side. Are we going to go for the right side? Because Mane's on the left.
Yeah, you're right. Can we swear on that?
This one is tough.
This is
was that
tricky.
What was his supernova season? 17-18?
Well, he's had a few of those, mate.
Yeah, all right.
It's difficult because you might actually end up with a...
I can't argue for Mo Salah. Bukayo Saka, the most consistent player in our team, 100% in terms of just consistent performances. If Arsenal have had a bad game, 99% of the time, Saka's been fine. He's been our best player.
Same for us.
The amount of work he does off the ball, think about that. The amount of work he does, like tracking back, he's right up there in terms of the numbers.
You know, Wijnaldum's in the
everything runs through him. All the arguments you're going to make for Salah, and it is Salah. All the arguments you're going to make for Salah, you could apply to Saka. Is my point basically because you're going to make other than the goals and assists. Well done.
Kind of a big part of it.
So outcome. Sort of why you put him in.
Yeah.
And he's been clever. He's put Genie in behind him to help for that exact reason.
Very smart of me.
Oh, I get lots of goals and assists.
Yeah.
Number 9. Who are we going for?
Oh, I've earned my place in the team.
Oh, I'm a Premier League legend.
Yeah. Okay. For me, this is unarguable because actually I think he's most Liverpool fans' favourite one of the front 3. It's Bobby Firmino. Bobby Firmino redefined that role. And because we
call it the Firmino role.
We literally call it in the same way as Claude Makelele is the 6.
Yeah.
Firmino is this. Havertz was brought into Arsenal to kind of be a bit of a linchpin and a hookup player. What could he offer? Well, let's look at what Firmino offered to Liverpool. Let's not even put Firmino and Gyökeres in the same breath. It's literally only Bobby Firmino. And even then, maybe you can make a really good argument for Gabriel Jesus. Bobby Firmino offers all of what those strikers offer in one man.
Mikel Merino, 30 goals and assists.
I knew he was going to go there.
30 goals and assists in 2025.
It's excellent.
Beat that.
I would
Do you know the problem? Do you know the problem here is we don't have a fit centre forward. We literally do. Havertz is out. Jesus is just coming back. Gyökeres has been out. And Merino is a midfielder.
Also, I think Merino might suffer from some of that adaptability we were talking about. For me, just Bobby Firmino is generational.
We've got to put him in
there. We'll never replace Bobby Firmino because there is not another player like Bobby Firmino.
He wins that ball so much.
But he also provides that ball so much. There's so much
provides that ball
does.
so much.
It's hard to finish on Bobby in a sense because...
Do I think that's fair? 1, 2, 3... 3 Arsenal players feels harsh.
What this feels like is it feels like you need to sharpen your debate skills.
Or you should shut up sometimes.
I do videos alone and let here are some stats. Guys, can you put a load of stats on the screen and make
just add in stats after?
Yeah.
End of the season, we should come back and do this. And I think there'll be 2 more Arsenal players in there. That's my opinion.
Has anyone got a graph?
The problem is, come on. The problem is we're arguing it's a team who has achieved something versus a brilliant team who haven't yet achieved what they should.
Completely agree.
Okay,
right. So actually, it's unfair.
Obviously, that is a team mixed with a team that could potentially have a high chance of winning the Premier League this year and a team that won the Champions League in that season.
And then obviously went on to win the Premier League. So
would this team get anywhere near close to winning a treble?
Yes.
This exact team, would it win a treble?
This team is probably the closest to a treble that I've ever looked at.
What, prime Van Dijk, prime Saliba,
just
prime
while we're here,
Mane?
can we just do the bench just for a second, or is that too long? Xherdan Shaqiri,
Calafiori's on there.
Calafiori's
on there. Timber's on there.
Is Divock Origi on there? He did score in the final of the Champions League.
You can't. I'm not having a Origi over Havertz. I'm not.
Fine, we can have Havertz. I love Havertz. That's a problem.
Yeah, but he's my boy.
Oxlade-Chamberlain? You could concede that, surely.
He's not even put Matip on the bench, by the way.
Yeah. Gabriel is on the bench.
He's also not put Henderson there, and he was going to argue him over Rice.
Dude, if you put these two squads together, it is literally...
Yeah, it's unbelievable.
It's Jurgen Klopp's ideal side. It's Arteta's ideal side. It's Slot's ideal side. There are so many managers that would love to manage that.
Are you lacking a little bit of cuteness in the midfield?
No,
maybe?
Because you've got those cute guys up front. That was kind of the whole point of that. Zubimendi's cute. Rice,
they're cute as well.
We're calling them good looking. We're
calling them cute.
What's going on?
I mean,
right
the cute,
now?
as in the cuteness to like an Odegaard slip ball type stuff in the midfield.
I think Wijnaldum's got. I think Rice has got that. I think your problem is your left winger is not Sadio Mane. Your right winger is injured quite a lot. Sadly, I think if Saka played more, you'd probably be even more dominant. And then in the middle, Bobby Firmino is that cute.
Like one big injury.
No, I know, but what I mean is, like, that's why we're not putting him in there, because a lot of people, he's just not got the
We're
same...
not putting him in there because it's Salah.
Anyway.
Bobby Firmino's the cute one.
That is our combined 11 for this current Arsenal squad and the 2019 Liverpool Champions League winners. Guys at home, let us know in the comment section below if you think we got it correct.
Oh, they will.
Anybody else that's missed out. Also, don't forget to check out our sponsor, Bet442. There's a QR code on the screen now and a link in the description below.
Let's call them the gorgeous team.